Hi class, I hope you're enjoying your pajama day at home. I'm going to start with this assessment workbook. It has on it HLTWHS003. Okay, now came to realise when I gave out the last one to, I can't remember who in class, Joanne, that her folder had two of these in it instead of one of these and then one that says WHS005. So that means I presume that one of you have two that has HLTWHS005, which is missing this one. If that's the case, that's fine. What you can do now is pause this video, go into your files, class materials, and print out or even answer the questions online. That's fine for HLTWHS003, which is this one. So if you're that person that missed out on this booklet in your homework bag, I absolutely apologize. Now, first things first, hopefully you have all signed in already by 9:30 in the little post that I put that says the date and to write your name at the bottom. Pretty easy. So first thing you need to do right now is whatever day that you're watching this video and doing HLTWHS003, please remember to sign and date, okay? Right, the first ones are written reports, okay? Not the reports that we did in class the other day. Similar, but not as horrible, I like to say. So, first, that question basically asks, what is the hierarchy in your dental surgery? You may notice that in the questions it says dental laboratory. We're just going to change that to our dental surgery because we don't work in a dental laboratory. So what is the hierarchy? That means what is the reporting system and why? We need to write why here. We can't just write practice manager, receptionist, dental coordinator, whatever. Okay, so you need to write the hierarchy and why there is that hierarchy. So fairly simple for that first question. The second one is basically asking for that list again in order and their job description. Okay, what is their job description in your dental office? It could differ, beg your pardon, to someone else's dental office, okay? So hierarchy is boss, second boss, third boss, you know, who do you report to if there is a problem? The next question is to go around and find hazards, okay? You will do this at work, okay? So in your lunch break, go a bit early before work, you just need to go around and it's simply putting something underneath all of these titles, okay? And then you can go to your hierarchy report if needed. If there's nothing to write there, then don't, okay? Just put NA, not applicable. But I don't want them all handed in with NA for all of them, okay? Please. The next question is really, I just want you to list the role of a safety representative, okay? What does the safety representative in your workplace do? What is their role? What is their job description? Can you please write that there for me? The next question is the roles played by workplace committee. Okay, so your workplace safety committee. Okay, if you don't have a workplace safety committee because it is a singular person in your smaller dental office, please have some research in your student guide online and write what a safety committee is responsible for in a dental office. I just need you to demonstrate that you have an understanding of that. That would be fantastic. Question 8 we're up to. Is that question 8? No. What is a fair work standard in your workplace? So basically analysing that question is, what is a let me read it again. Okay, so what is a hazard that you did find in your workplace? Basically just write what that hazard is. What is a hazard that's in your workplace? Something that we have as a hazard every day. Could be a tripping hazard, needle stick hazard, just a hazard that you've identified. So I got the next two questions a bit muddled up. So now we're up to question 7. Sorry, that one was question 6 before. Now up to question 7. What is a risk that you take in your dental office? What is a risk that you take? I can think of many. I don't want to give any away, but let's say needle stick industry. That is a risk that you take when you go to work every day. And what is a residual risk? A residual risk is something that you've put lots of implements in place, policies, procedures, tools, safety mechanisms in place, but it's still a risk, okay? That also could be sharp stick injuries, because we know we've got all these policies, procedures in place. We even have equipment that helps us with our sharps, and we still could get a needle stick injury. So a residual risk is something where you've put everything in place to avoid that risk happening, but it still can happen, okay? So the next question basically is very similar. What could never be managed? Okay, what could never be managed? We can't actually manage people's own behaviours or mistakes, for an example. Okay, what's something you cannot manage? You can absolutely put policies and procedures in place, but a human brain, things. So what things can't really be managed? And there's numbers there for you to list as well. And there's great examples of this also in your student workbook. Okay, from your understanding, how hard? Okay, so the next one you're going to do in your house, okay? We're not doing it in the classroom. Our classroom is our home today. So you might be in your bedroom, in your lounge room, in your study, wherever you're doing this video and this workbook. I want you to find some things in that room that you're in now that could be harmful or a risk, okay? And just number them. Or put them after the numbers that are already provided for you. Okay, so emergencies that can happen in our dental office. So again, it says dental laboratory. We're going to think about our actual work, where we work. So chair side, front desk, wherever. So I want you to list and describe what some dental emergencies could be. I know we did one with a certain old lady in a chair. That was a dental emergency. It was a medical emergency. So think along those lines and more. And there's lists for that. The next one is this little question down here. Okay. So we just want to know who to report to in what state we work for who is the WHS, which stands for Work Health and Safety Authority for that state. We're obviously in Western Australia, but there is a list of states there. So Google who is the authority for workplace health and safety in that state and just put your answer next to that. Question 11. You're doing really well. Okay. Okay, we're going to pretend that you are one of the higher end of the hierarchy that we did at the beginning in your dental office. You need to make a policy for a piece of faulty equipment. Okay? What does the staff member do? Do they run around going, this doesn't work? Do they call their mum and have a cry? No, there should be a policy that they can look up straight away on what to do. You are going to write that there because you're so smart and capable. Okay, and you've got quite a bit of space there, a couple of pages to think about your answer and write that. So housekeeping, we all know what housekeeping is, but why is that relevant in work health and safety? What housekeeping occurs in your dental surgery office that keeps everybody safe? Should be fairly easy to answer. I guess along the lines of infection control, making sure there's no hazards like slippery floors and things like that. Okay, think along those lines. Question, next one, at work. Heavy task. Okay, so sometimes in the dental industry, we have to lift up heavy objects, mainly deliveries and things like that. What is your workplace policies and procedures to make that safe for you? Okay, so you might need to go to work and look up that thing so you can write it accurately, but it's about heavy lifting in your workplace. Okay. The next one, after the numbers, we're going to answer about fair work standards. Okay, so the standards that they're talking about here is more to do with mental health, fair pay, discrimination. Okay, so thinking along those lines, that's what we really want in this one. Okay, so work health and safety doesn't just involve injury to self, physical injury, it can also be mental as well. And that's what this question is asking you. So can you list them? That would be fantastic. There's numbers there right next to it. How to spot hazards and what to do. So the next question, just write how to spot a hazard and what to do. Okay, for example, I tripped over a piece of torn carpet. I've looked at it. That's how I spotted it. Another might be I went to use a piece of machinery and it sparked. That's how it came to my attention. And then write, what do you do? Who do you report it to? Do you put a note on it saying do not use, etc., etc. Okay, the next question is easy as pie. I just want you to list the PPE that we wear in order. What we put on first, what we put on second, what we put on third, what we put on fourth. Okay, that would be fantastic. Okay, so the next one is a question that you can look up in your student guide or you can Google. We need the Safety Act for Western Australia. Okay, it is fairly long. I am happy for you to summarise or print it out and attach. Okay. So the next one, I've actually put a guideline to help you. You're going to draw a risk assessment matrix from your results of your own workplace that you did earlier. If you look on Teams, somewhere around this video, I've put how to draw a matrix and how to fill it out correctly, and you're going to draw it on that question. The next one is a list of safety and hazard warning signs. Please look them up and label what they are. Okay, nice and easy, that one. Okay, so the next one says there was a fire or an electrical damage. I want you to write the procedure for evacuation. Okay, that should be on the wall somewhere in your surgery, or you will have a safety officer that will be able to provide that information. Okay, it's not as simple as run and scream out a building. I need the steps. That would be fantastic. The next page is mine. I mark that. Don't you worry about it. Then it says practical assessment. You don't have to do anything, okay? I'm going to skip forward to this one, to question, I think it's 1.2, and you're just going to summarize there what you've read, because you have read the practical. We can't do it because you're at home. We will be doing it, but read what it says, and then you can answer this question perfectly. Then it's more of my marking. And then basically all the questions that you answered previously in 2.1 and onwards, you are conducting meetings with your staff in the dental office, and according to your answers before, you're going to write the meeting agenda. Okay, so meeting agenda, meeting agenda, meeting agenda. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, I think. And then this page is mine, it's my marking. You don't have to worry. Okay. Okay, then we're going to move on to the next section and straight on to question 2, okay? We're starting with question 2 on the end part of this booklet. You need to, what are the legal requirements to use in WA? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Find 5 legal requirements on why we have to use WH policies in Western Australia. Quite an easy search to find. The next one is list how to share your policies to your staff. What are ways you can educate your staff? Meetings, posters, reminders, emails. I'm sure you can come up with some really good ideas to make sure your staff is fully competent. Training days. Refresher training days. We want to keep our staff safe. Then it's all my marking, lots of little dots and things. That's mine. That's mine. I'm going to read your answers and tick that you've done very, very well, because I know you have. And that's it. That's all I require from you for HLTWHS003. Now, please, you can pause this video anytime, pause it for each question. If you do have a question, please save it for me. Put a dot in it, put a pin in it, bring it next week, and I'll help you with that question, because that's what I get paid the big bucks for. Love you all. Good luck with that one. And I'll put on another video for HLTWHS005. Enjoy Pajama Day!